Good afternoon. How's it going? I'm gonna check to make sure that everything's working before I continue talking to this camera, because hopefully I'm not just talking to myself. Well, it looks like the stream is up and live. I hope everybody's doing great today. I got myself a couple of delicious things to eat for lunch. And check it out. Boom. Got some Edwards pies. I've been saying that I probably wouldn't be eating them, but I saw that they had this new variety, so I just had to check it out. I picked up one of the singles. Looks like this is 2 slices, so a double, I guess, instead of one of the whole pies. Because, like I said, the Edwards pies, like, they cost an arm and a leg. But it's been super hot, where I've been... Yeah, it's been super hot these last couple of days, getting up to like mid-80s, even up to 90 degrees in the low 90s a couple of days. So I thought it would be good to have a little bit of ice cream for lunch. Cool off a little bit. Got myself some Tillamook ice cream, which is, I think, Tillamook. Is Tillamook? I think Tillamook is an Oregon brand, actually, down in Oregon. So it is Northwest, but not super, super local. But they make pretty great ice cream. Ugh. Instead of eating it right out of the carton, like a pig, who would do that? I would do that, actually. I'd probably take out this entire carton of ice cream if I didn't have any restraint. But nope. Today, I'm just going to have a bowl or 2 of ice cream with some nice goodies on top. A couple of crumbled up chocolate chip cookies. Now, if I had thought about it ahead of time, I probably would have gotten myself some whipped cream, but that's alright. Some caramel syrup. Really basic stuff, but this stuff is so good. I love that stuff. Alright. I went out for a run this morning, and it was so hot this morning. It was so like muggy and humid. So I could really use this to cool off. Oh, it's perfect. I've been drinking ice water all morning and still just feel like I'm overheated. All right, we already got a couple of folks in the chat. Thank you for joining me today, guys. Got Michael and Manic Tricks Woods says hello. How's it going? Manic Tricks Woods, this is one of your healthier live streams. I have no idea where you would come up with that, but I guess it's healthy in that I'm showing some restraint and not eating that entire carton of ice cream. Yeah, this thing is almost a half a gallon of ice cream, so that'd be quite a bit. Well, since it has been super warm, pardon me, since it has been super warm and sunny out the last couple of days in the Seattle area, I have been happy to be able to go outside and get in some decent time in the sun. So this is workout I did yesterday morning just left me absolutely shattered. I think the speed graph doesn't really do it justice. See these little blips where I increase my speed a little bit. I was doing 100 meter repeats, trying to hit 15 seconds. I was able to manage to go under 16 seconds only once. Let's see if I can find the laps. There we go. 15 seconds on my first one, which was a 4:13 average pace. Oh my goodness. And the rest, let's see, 16 seconds, 16.6, 16.0, 4:16 pace, 16.8, 16.8. Oh, I must have been getting tired by that one. 4:34 pace. A 4:08 pace, so maybe I overran the length on that one a little bit. Because that looks like that number 13 was probably my fastest one. But I find it absolutely baffling that there are people out there who can run that fast. I know I'm not much of a sprinter, so I do my best. I know Usain Bolt, his world record is what, 9.6 seconds, somewhere around there, 9.59, I think. But what I find incredible is that, like, if you're familiar with the sport of running, one of those like quintessential times that people are able to run is able to go. If you're able to go a mile in less than 4 minutes, like that's one of those milestones that separates really great runners from like the truly exceptional runners, like the best of the best, for middle distance running anyway. And the paces that I was running for 100 meters was slower than the pace that those guys maintained for an entire mile. And like I was just killing myself out there. I got shin splints, my hammies are just so tight, so sore today. My feet and my ankles just feel like I've run an entire marathon yesterday. Even though the total distance that I ran was less than 6 miles. And the total distance that I was sprinting was less than half a mile. Or no, I did 8 times 100, so it was exactly half a mile. Oh my gosh. Let's catch up with some folks in the comments, see who's hanging out today. So Manic Tricks Woods, you ask about my job at Microsoft. You want to know how I got that job? Let's see, I got my job at Microsoft basically through a recruiter. I think recruiters are basically how most people, it's pretty common to get jobs in the tech industry through recruiters. I set up my LinkedIn profile and a couple of recruiters looked over my resume and contacted me, asked me if I wanted to get an interview. And yeah, got an interview and they liked what I did. You can also go online to apply for jobs at most tech places. Go to jobs.google.com or it's probably like microsoft.com/jobs, something like that, or careers. There are plenty of ways to get jobs as long as you have the chops. I did interview for a position at Amazon, but I think they wanted me to do some server stuff, and I just don't know too much about server infrastructure. I interviewed for a job at Facebook. Again, went into that interview pretty blind, and about halfway through I realized that they wanted me to be a build engineer. So they were asking about data management and data logging, stuff like that, and that's just something else that I'm not super familiar with. But at Microsoft, they interviewed me to work on a video game, and I've got tons of experience working on video games, so I was happy to nail that job. Oh my goodness. AJAT, you say in southwestern Connecticut, we had a winter weekend. Yeah, I heard that there was snow in some parts of the country. Oh my goodness. You guys are having a cold snap over there, and we're having a heat wave over here. Now, a heat wave in Seattle means that, it gets up to 90 degrees, so it's still pretty mild. It's really rare to get over 100 degrees in the Pacific Northwest, so I think that it is nice to have this heat wave. I think it's nice and pleasant. Although it is kind of a drag at night when it doesn't get quite so cool, and just nobody in the Pacific Northwest has central air conditioning. Can make it a little bit tough to get to sleep at night. Michael asks if I'm planning on doing a video for Donut Day in June, sort of like the 3 dozen donuts videos. I have no plans, man. Let's see, my class ends on June, or I should say the spring quarter ends on June 1st or June 2nd, something like that. Might be the week after, if we have finals, stuff like that. So then I can dedicate a little bit more time to prepping and doing videos. But yeah, I have no plans. Nathaniel Cooper asks how my day is going. I'm doing great, man. Got out for an easy jog this morning, eating some ice cream. I'm feeling good. And Michael, you asked what my favorite video game genre is? I have no idea. I think The Legend of Zelda might be my favorite franchise. So that kind of adventure genre is pretty great. But in my opinion, whether it's a first-person shooter or like an RPG or a strategy game, stuff like that. I was big into StarCraft back in the day. Um, as long as it's like a super well-made game, I'm not like dogmatic about the genre that I'm playing. So yeah, I like to get a huge variety of games. But Legend of Zelda holds a special place in my heart. I really like that franchise. So we'll go with adventure. I like those kinds of games. Nathaniel Cooper, you mentioned that yesterday was National Shrimp Day. Well, that would have been an interesting challenge to scoop up. I did do shrimp cocktail once upon a time in Indiana when we were allowed to travel and see the world. It was incredible. Mm. All right, so doing my usual stuff, hanging out online, surfing the internet. I came across this pretty interesting article. I don't know how many folks in this audience are like super science-minded and really interested in high-tech stuff, but I absolutely love it. So a friend of mine posted this article about fusion reactions, which I thought was really, really cool. Let's see. Fusion energy is one of those things that's like, it would solve so many problems if we were able to get it working. But, nuclear energy has a lot of, not the best track record with nuclear fusion, meltdowns at plants and so on and so forth. And it's the kind of thing that's a very difficult problem to solve. So I found this article pretty fascinating. It says, scientists from Princeton University and the Department of Energy's Princeton Plasmic Physics Laboratory, that's a mouthful, the PPL, have used radio frequency waves and temperature to stabilize white-hot and volatile plasma that swirls inside of fusion reactors like, I don't even know what those are, tokamaks and stellarators? Let's see what a tokamak is. Tokamak is a Russian device, uses a powerful magnetic field to combine hot plasma. Interesting. Okay. Ooh. Cool. So it almost looks like, by the way, this mic isn't even close to me, so hopefully folks have been able to hear me okay. Interesting. So it looks like these are chambers that basically have magnetic fields in them that somehow create stable magnetic or a stable environment to hold plasma. And stellarators, I assume that those are probably the same thing. The radio waves disrupt the magnetic islands that form radio waves disrupt the magnetic islands that form and disrupt the plasma flow, and the temperature magnifies and stabilizes the effect. As the saying goes, the disruptor of your disruptor is your friend. Interesting. Okay. What's the problem with technology it's trying to solve? Well, a tokamak fusion reactor involves a twisting donut of elemental plasma that's as hot as the sun. As the plasma travels through the reaction chamber, it's directed and contained by an extremely strong magnetic field, meaning that plasma is basically free-floating without touching any part of the structure. It's a super hot plasma stream. Interesting. So it's like a ball of plasma held in place, suspended in the middle of nothing by a magnetic field. That is so cool. There's a dangerous side effect of magnetic field. As the plasma travels, the magnetic field forms odd bubble-like structures called magnetic islands. These may be produced from a helical current perturbations in the plasma. Oak Ridge National Laboratory published in a report 1974. Interesting. So this stuff, I guess, has been around for a while, but only looking at it and applications of it recently. Physically, the islands are a result of having a harmonic component of the radial component of the perturbed magnetic field in resonance with an unperturbed rational surface field lines in the presence. Okay, I was hanging on to most of this until I got to that last sentence. But yeah, that last bit is like PhD level. I don't know if I can parse that. Physically, the islands are a result of having a harmonic component of the radial component of the perturbed magnetic field. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy. A harmonic component is like something that happens at a specific frequency, and a radial component of a magnetic field? I don't even know what a radial component of a magnetic field might be. Yeah, that's too much for me. Let's see, moving on. As soon as island disrupts the flow of plasma, the tokamak can lose temperature that takes days or months to recover. The plasma can also strike and damage the structure of the tokamak itself, and repairing is extremely difficult. Yeah, I could imagine if something is holding a ball of plasma that's, thousands of degrees or millions of degrees. I think the surface of the sun is on the order of like 10,000 degrees. I might be wrong about that. The work of fusion physicists has included island control for decades, and the longest sustained plasma streams often end with an island complication. Yeah, I mean, all this stuff is just super fascinating to me. I love reading about this. Finding about like the cutting edge of research technology. It's all super interesting to me. Oh my gosh. But we don't need to get into super deep, science-y, techno babble to enjoy some ice cream. Yeah, nothing wrong with just a little bit of basic food science. This is kind of melted, not super. And I gotta say the toffee bits in this thing. Is that what it is? Yes, caramel toffee crunch. The toffee bits in this just make this ice cream over the top. Eric Gunnarsson, I didn't even see your last comment saying, welcome back, good to see me on the air again. Yeah, I'm on the air again. I have a feeling that since I saw... Oh, pardon me. Since my game studio decided that everybody's going to be working from home through December, I think I'm going to be on the air pretty frequently for the next several months. Now, I've had a bunch of the... There you go. You guys can probably see that. I've had a bunch of these Edwards pies in the past. One of my more popular videos. And Edwards pies are pretty great. They're these frozen pies that you buy, and instead of like baking them, you just let them thaw for a while. But this one was new. It's one that I haven't had before. It's original whipped cheesecake with... Oh my goodness. I was expecting this to be a slightly shorter ingredients list, but got lots of stuff in there. Sour cream, some stabilizers, sugar, water, shortening, milk, cream cheese. Cream cheese is way down the list, though. Oh well. Let's see. Let's see how it is. I guess if you have this kind of like iced pie / cheesecake kind of thing, it's not quite the same as a regular cheesecake. Probably a little bit of a different texture. I am having some trouble figuring out how the heck to open this thing, though. Ugh. I don't want to just break this thing apart. Because one thing about Edwards pies is they're usually like very visually appealing. You know, they're kind of pretty pies. So I don't want to crush this piece of pie before I even eat it. Ugh. Need to be very delicate. Cool. So it looks like it's got, this filling that's like a little bit piped in. Ooh, got some kind of nasty glare there. Hard to see what's going on. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that super well. Oh my gosh. That is really good. Very tangy. Nice and sweet. Not nearly as rich as a typical cheesecake, but still super good. I do like that it's really tangy. You get that like sour cream flavor coming through it. and the crust on it. The crust on this is a little bit, I don't know, goopy. Like it's a little bit soggy almost. But it's very refreshing to have a nice cold, like right out of the refrigerator, piece of Edwards pie on a day like this. I don't know if I'll have this second piece right away. Probably save this for a little bit later. That was excellent, though. I really like that. Eric Winokur, he says, you say that you love any cheesecake. Yeah, it's really hard to go wrong with cheesecake. They're so good, especially a well-made cheesecake. I mean, I'm still considering like just going to the Cheesecake Factory, and I think it would be cool to go buy one of those cheesecakes and just pig out on it as a nice challenge. But that's another one that's like that is a non-trivial cost. Getting a whole cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory is, I don't know, it's like, it can be, $60, $80. Like it's a non-trivial cost. Most of the challenges that I do, I try to like, are honestly motivated by what's on sale, So I try not to put too much money into the stuff that I do. But, sometimes I just have fun with it. Go out of my way to do something a little bit more expensive. It is kind of funny that some of the most expensive challenges that I do on this channel are the fast food ones, where people tend to think of fast food as being like cheap and the thing that you go get if you're not quite as financially well off. But like buying food at the store is, oh my goodness, it's a quarter of the cost of getting fast food. It's ridiculous. Eric Gunnarsson, he says, today we are celebrating National Chocolate Ball Day here in Sweden, meaning we are eating a lot of them. That's awesome. I want to check out what National Chocolate Ball Day is. Everybody come along with me while I look up National Chocolate Ball Day. In Sweden. I see national holidays in Sweden. National Day of Sweden. National Day of Sweden. I don't know. That's all I'm getting. So I don't know if I'm failing on my internet foo or if I'm not using the right words, but that sounds pretty great. Making some nice chocolate truffles. Again, that's another food that's like really, really good if you do it really correctly. I know every Christmas, whenever I get together with my family, a lot of times my mother will make some of these little chocolate truffles with a little bit of either rum or whiskey in them. Oh, they're fantastic, I gotta say. Like, even though, like I said before, I'm not big on the alcohol, I do, it is kind of a bummer that I actually really enjoy drinking alcohol, especially hard liquor, like in small amounts. But like I just can't handle alcohol very well, so I try to avoid it too much. But one or two of those, like chocolate rum truffles, it's just fantastic. And it's great that it's got such a distinct flavor that it really cuts through the chocolate, and it doesn't take too much alcohol to get that flavor in there. AJAT, you say one ice cream you highly recommend is the Blue Bunny Double Strawberry Swirl, no sugar added. It's my favorite. Hey, that sounds really delicious. I've actually had a lot of the Blue Bunny flavors. I like that Blue Bunny has a lot of like really creative flavors and just jam-packed their ice cream full of filling and stuff like that. So yeah, I could imagine that would be delicious. I believe their no sugar added ice cream does have sucralose in it, so I'm probably not gonna have that one myself. But I think if they had like a regular version, I'd definitely try to check it out. Tuna Shogun says fast food, aka convenient food. I usually spend over an hour a day making a dish for myself. Yeah, I mean, there's some comforting about sitting down and making a meal. I absolutely love sitting down and preparing food. It's really enjoyable for me. A lot of people like to compare cooking with chemistry. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but I do think it is a good like mental exercise, and it's kind of fun to be able to like get an onion and chop it up and see like basically see what you can do with some molecular gastronomy and stuff like that. Oh, and a good set of kitchen knives is there's very few things in this world that I think is more like aesthetically pleasing than a good set of really sharp kitchen knives. All right, well, I have eaten most everything. Put a pretty sizable dent in this ice cream. So I think that's going to be it for my lunch break today. Still in quarantine, still cooking, still locked in. I think that the kind of drizzly weather is coming back to the Pacific Northwest pretty soon, so I got to get out there, enjoy the sun while I can. If it's sunny where you are, I hope you're able to get outside. If it's not so sunny, like in some parts of the country, hopefully you're bundling up and it's not too bad for you guys. Oh my goodness. But I do appreciate everyone who joined me for the stream today. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Always wonderful to see you, and always awesome to hear some of the questions you guys have, do some of this back and forth. I usually come in here and talk about myself the entire time, but it's always cool to pose some questions to you guys too, and see what's going on in your guys' lives. Oh my goodness, but I think that's going to be it for me today, guys. I hope you guys have a good one. I'll see you tomorrow. You guys take it easy. And keep on surviving, keep on being safe, all those good things.